Welcome back, folks. It's time for Game 5. It's come down to this between Fnatic and H2K in this semi-final series. They're about to settle this score. Winner take all, Deficio.
Yeah, currently red side is 4-0. Now H2K is on red side for this one. They will have the last pick. However, we've had a lot of talk, about the Urgot. I could see Twitter is exploding about it as well. Some people say Urgot will not beat the Z in lane. Then Bjergsen comes in saying yes, he will. So on,
You
so
gotta
on.
love Season 5.
We're talking a lot of Urgot here. I don't even think we're gonna see it because I don't think either of the teams play it. So we might as well just forget about that one and look at the game instead. If there's no likes of Urgot from H2K, then Fnatic honestly can take a Z as an early pick. And what is really gonna play into it that won't at least be a skill matchup?
There are so many possibilities. I feel like it's almost impossible to speculate on it. One thing we definitely know is that the bans are not liable to change. It's the Sivir again from Fnatic as they round that one out. H2K should finish this one up. But the question is, do they now ban the Vlad? That was asked quite a lot. It's a possibility. No, it's the Shyvana.
Stick to the same bans then. Clearly not afraid of the Vlad in that sense. So Fnatic, as we saw, Yellowstar had a fantastic game on Thresh in the last game, going for it again, which means they push Kasing over on either Janna or Annie. And we might see, if it is standard lanes, them trying to really put a lot of focus on it. I mean, I always feel like we're back to game 1 here, at least in terms of the start, except for that Sivir ban, which is the only change all series long between the two teams. So H2K have gone Gragas jungle 4 out of 4 games so far. That is open again. Unless you want to take away the Nunu from Reignover and you want to try and run a let's buff up Yarnan composition. Because Fnatic has tend to run with fairly low engage when they can't get the likes of Hecarim. And that's where if you buff up your AD carry, if you run like a hyper carry setup where you have a lot of protection, a lot of peel for him, let's say Nunu Janna in this situation, it's very tough for Fnatic to get onto him in these team fights. It looks like they're not gonna wait for Zed to be locked in, and instead Ryu gets it. One of his all-time greats, I guess we can say. Ryu has been a fantastic Zed player back in Korea.
And Yarnan gets himself the Jinx. Fnatic, looks like we might have an answer
Taunting
right
a little bit, maybe.
If they go for the Diana, I'm not sure about that one.
No, Cho'Gath is good against Zed in the laning phase.
You know what else is good against Zed in the laning phase? Urgot.
That's very true. Well, Urgot at least is fantastic later on in the game against him. Whenever Zed goes in, you just swap him around, you stack a massive amount of armor, and he's never going to kill you in that sense. Let's see what Fnatic wants to do. We had the Vladimir top lane beforehand. It worked better for Huni, but nearly everything in the world would have compared to what he played in the first few games. He lost the lane, however, fairly hard to the Sion pick from Odoamne, which is still open in this situation here. But he managed to pick up so many kills in the team fights, which was the big turning point for him. But that was not started by Huni. That was started by FIPIV and getting that first blood in the mid lane. And they will take the Cho'Gath into Zed matchup here, which a lot of the best Zed players in the world say this is a very tough one for Zed to play.
Cho'Gath does get pretty big and beefy. It can be hard to try and chunk him down, and if you can anticipate it, you can just rupture on top of yourself as soon as Zed jumps in on you with the death mark. So
that's the thing, you also got the silence, which stops a lot from Zed.
The Ezreal pick is a little bit curious too. Steelback has played it at least once.
So, week 9, Fnatic H2K, they pick their Ezreal, and all they do is go standard lane, farm. Nothing is what you do. Ezreal is so boring to watch in the laning phase because he just sits back and farms. He's so passive, but it allows the rest of the team to make plays. It allows the top lane, the jungle, the mid laner to make the plays, and then whenever they feel like it, they go down to that bottom lane and start ganking on H2K. And they can't do the same because there's so much mobility from the Ezreal itself to jump around. And also, it is a pick against the Zed to try and stay alive in these fights here. You're not picking an immobile AD carry who's just stuck if Zed jumps him. Now Ezreal can at least try and kite around a little bit for himself. So that's why they're picking it, is just to keep Steelback safe and say, this game is not about you. At least not the first 20-25 minutes is not about you. You get your man immune, you get it fully stacked, you get your Trinity Force, then you can start doing something. Before, you just sit back and farm. Let the rest of us make the plays.
With that,
we talked about obviously the Janna also from H2K.
The Janna, I mean, it's another solid choice for the mobility factor, for the disengage. They also have the Gragas once again, so that's going to be the double disengage. There is a lot of damage, though, between... So let's sustain damage, really, with the Jinx. And, of course, you've got the potential burst that Ryu can bring. It's still pretty AD heavy, though.
Yeah, that's the problem. And we haven't seen a lot of AP picks from Odoamne in the top lane. And he's normal champion to fall back on if Maokai is gone. And it has been Sion now in the lane. And that would, as you just said yourself, put H2K in a situation where they're so focused on physical damage that Fnatic can stack armor. And then going into late game, it's going to be so hard for him to take down anyone. I mean, the Cho'Gath is going to become very tanky. Getting the stacks, he's going to get an Hourglass in that situation if it's against pure physical. We know Ezreal can jump around, sustain himself, kite very well in fights, and Vladimir obviously doing the same. So while Fnatic is not running a clear-cut tank that's going to just stack a mass amount of armor, there's obviously War Enchant on Rek'Sai, and then you go full tank after. Then it's not the worst situation, but it makes it a lot harder for you in the late game teamfights when you're already against a fairly beefy setup from Fnatic.
Yeah. Fnatic has a decent mixed amount of damage too, so it's going to be difficult for H2K to really prioritize against that. As the timer ticks down, the real question is what
there
does
really is no
Odoamne
picks for him. If he wants to play a tank, there's not a whole lot he can offer.
I don't think they really need a tank because they've got the Gragas, but then what does he do? As you mentioned, we haven't seen too many AP picks coming out. I guess he could just go the Sion again if you... Never mind. Okay.
This
is interesting.
Very different for Odoamne. It's simply H2K saying we need some magic damage. We cannot run double physical carries and nothing else in our setup. I mean, we have seen the Ana top lane from Cabochard in Europe. It's a pick which does just fine in the laning phase, but it's so risky because you are so easy to gank in a long lane like the top lane, and you cannot afford to fall behind on it because you simply don't have the damage or tankiness then to dive in onto the enemy backlines. And this is really the first time where we see Odoamne not pick a big tank, which is what he normally goes for. He's played Lulu like once, and that was in a Giacomo composition. Outside of that, we are mainly looking at tanks for him. Lissandro's been played twice, not in recent weeks, and then Kennen once. Everything else is Maokai, Gnar, and Sion. Now we're gonna have to see what he can do on a carry. Instead, no double tank setup from either team. Obviously got the big tank Gragas from Lulex here, and only the Rek'Sai from Fnatic. Fnatic again is more like bruiseries in terms of like there's no full tank, but more you have a lot of damage from your deals and they become fairly tanky.
This one's going to get bloody, though, man. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. We will see if the top lane Diana is going to be able to carry H2K to victory, or will it be Fnatic going to the finals in Madrid? Why don't you guys hop on Twitter and let us know. Tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag H2K win or FNC win. We're still tallying them. And now we are onto the Rift. Game number 5.
H2K changing it up here, early picking Zed for Ryu. He played it against Copenhagen Wolves in the quarterfinal. He did it simply to take it away from Febiven, as Ryu wouldn't have any good picks into it. We haven't seen Cho'Gath, we haven't seen Urgot from him. That's why he takes it, and the crowd yelling for Fnatic.
I think we hear a few other things in there as well.
Oh, isn't there always like a Team Soul Limit fan in the crowd?
There's at least one. Doesn't matter where you are. Febiven's at least amused.
Would you like
Quite the
some
gentleman.
cheese with your wine?
Line scrimmage start for both these teams. We don't look to be seeing a lane swap. I'm really curious to see how this top lane goes because
30 seconds until
Vlad versus Diana is not something that I would expect in the top lane.
No, a bit. I mean, as always with Vladimir here, he needs a few levels before he can really start doing well in his lanes. But Diana doesn't have any kill pressure pre-level 6 either. And you're not running Ignite because you have to teleport as a top laner, so it's very hard for Diana to do a whole lot in the laning phase in that sense. Another reason why people don't like it too much in the top lane. Has been seen a few times, obviously. I wonder if we're going to see Morel Nomicon. First item, it's something Cabochard likes to do just for lane dominance, and it's obviously fantastic against the Vladimir as well. Cooldown reduction and the mana regen as a top laner can be very needed. Late game, he's going to get the blue buffs, but he's not going to run all the way down from top lane to pick up a blue buff and run back. So he's going to need some sort of regen up in that top lane for himself. We're going to have to see what Odoamne decides to do and how he can play in this one. Again, we normally see him on the big tanks. Very different pick for him now.
Very different indeed. We'll see how this Zed Cho matchup goes. In the mid lane, and all the while, Onowamne has actually gone ahead and started on the Raptor camp. To be able to clear that one and back to base. He goes down to the early level 2.
Yeah, camps from nearly everyone except for Huni, just sitting on the Vladimir. Can't really do a camp at level 1 himself. Down the bottom lane here, they're even in terms of XP. No, Steelback got close to all of them. He didn't get the small one, but he got the big one on his own. So he's gonna hit level 2 very fast. Once he kills one more minion, it should be enough for him. But H2K are getting the push on this one. Gets the level 2 as well, starts zoning away. A very good spot to deny a little bit of farm. Yellowstar obviously a bit of XP away from hitting level 2 himself. Only Steelback's gonna get it. There
he goes. Still, they've been pushed back just a little bit to start this one off. So, let's check in where the junglers are at. Pretty standard starts from both of them. This is probably one of the most normal games we've seen this series.
Yeah.
I'd say by far. And
we have to see what February can do on a Cho'Gath.
That's the real question, isn't it?
He shines on Assassin. That's where he can become the big playmaker. You can't really do the same on a Cho'Gath in that sense. Not a big split pusher. First gank from Reno is around the top. And we talk about Diana, she has no mobility. She's very easy to gank. He's going to force a flash.
This is definitely going to force a flash as he gets the knock up. There it goes. And he chugs a biscuit or two. Yeah, this is going to be now Lulex coming in around the side with the double bust, forcing a flash out of Febivin as well. And he rolls out the barrel too.
So suddenly a lot of lanes you can gank for the junglers here with the Cho'Gath in the mid lane with Diana in top lane as well. Not a good start for Odoamne. It's super tough to play this lane, or well, to play Diana in the top lane because of it. And now Lulex, he's in trouble.
Flash for flash right there. The Raptor camp's gonna help him out, and Rainover secures first blood.
We so often talk about these early junglers, how they're still very strong in the current meta because they can make plays like this. And when you already have your mid lane pushing in, look at the top lane, was already pushing towards Odoamne, so there was no help for Lulex, and Rek'Sai could just go for that fairly easy one-on-one. So important with a good start for Rek'Sai, especially also because Lulex showed in the last game that he wants to gank on this Gragas. Despite being weaker than Rek'Sai in the early game, he kept looking for ganks. He didn't farm. Now he's been set behind quite a lot. Gave over his new set of double buffs to Rainover as well. And here's another gank on Odoamne.
Yeah, this
he
time
has
he's
no
got
flash,
no
remember.
flash. The pool coming in as well from Huni. They didn't secure it though. Just a little too soon to back off.
Forced him back anyway though, which is the important one of this, or from this gank. Diana top lane so far under a lot of pressure because you got this Rek'Sai pick from Rainover, who's so aggressive in the early ganks.
Starting to get a little bit tough for the H2K lanes. The bottom lane for them has actually done quite well. They've been forcing Steel back away from this farm. This is just the harassing power of the Jinx Janna lane. Now they push the wave up to the tower, start taking a few shots at it as well. And as you mentioned, Steelback not going to really be doing much there, but just trying to stay safe. Lulex gets a shot nipping at his heels as he dashes away from Rainover.
So risky what Lulex is doing. If he goes in for a gank and he gets counter ganked with no flash, he's dead 100%. Rek'Sai is going to destroy him. But yeah, as we talked about in champs, like this Ezreal pick is just Fnatic saying, you know what, Steelback, you sit and farm, do nothing else, we just do standard lanes, and then we make plays on the top side of the map. Already giving one kill, the forced flash from Odoamne as well on that top side. So very clear what Fnatic has been doing in the early game. They have to worry about this bot lane tower going down if there's enough time for H2K to just keep pushing it in, because this lane is not going to turn around. Steelback is going to go back and get a tier, so he's not going to have any combat stats and he's going to lose the lane even harder. And then it's up to H2K to push in this tower here, get it as early as possible so they can rotate the Jinx around and start getting global gold that way.
Is the thing. They continue to pressure Odoamne in the top. Let's see if they can pick him off. This time they can. It goes over to Huni. Oh, and the crowd just loves it.
The only way for Odoamne to stay safe is if Lulex puts focus on getting the Rift Scuttler on the top side and then helps him ward as well. So you block this entrance into the Baron, but that's not been taken at all. So there's simply no way for Odoamne to stay in the lane. Either you have to sit in your own tower, or you can expect to get ganked. Every single time you have no mobility in a long lane. Very tough for him.
And They have brought Ryu and Lulex down to this bottom side to try and get a dive on. There is going to be the death mark onto Steel back as he tries to make his escape. He does. Yarnin goes forward, actually takes a lot of damage. H2K try to make a move on the bottom side and it doesn't work.
The only lane where H2K is winning is on the bottom lane. That's why they want to go for a kill and potentially take that tower. They need Yarnin once he gets his BF sword to start switching up and go to different lanes. Otherwise, Fnatic can just keep ganking on this Diana here in the top lane.
He has not left this lane.
No ulti though.
But he's behind enemy lines and he doesn't have any supply at the moment. Any help. Lulex looking to change that. But Rainover is in the area as well. Now he's going to go ahead and back. He has spent a lot of time here for no effect.
Yeah, got the flash only from Steelback and that was it. Now, if they want to go back, you got that BF sword on the Jinx. You know what Ezreal is going to build, so you're going to win the lane. Can you do it fast enough? Top tower, taking a lot of damage. We saw how Diana had to move mid lane to defend because of this play from Reno or from Ryu. And really not looking good. Fnatic also winning the vote.
Oh yeah, it was a little even earlier in the series, but it's been turned around here. And speaking, turned around once again, Odoamne just finds himself so far behind trying to deal with anybody right now. He's been keeping up in farm, but he nearly got eaten by the Cho'Gath once again.
And that opens up for mid tower now. It's being pushed in because Zed is on the top side. We still see Jinx bottom lane. She hasn't recalled yet. And therefore Fnatic has full control of the mid lane. They can open up for either Dragon. They can take Dragon or take mid tower. They decide where they want to go and deal some damage onto it. Obviously wouldn't be able to completely kill the mid tower, but at least you chip it down. And really at the moment H2K is only winning that bottom lane. It's where they have to be able to make the play. Get that tower once you return with your BF sword.
Been unable to do it so far. So now Odoamne is fully committed to swapping into the mid. Let's see how he fares against Febivin. The Feast is not available just yet as he had used it on the last iteration, but you can already see he's taking the damage. Harassed from the Feral Scream, making it difficult for Odoamne. We'll see what he can do here. Ryu on the top lane, waiting very patiently in the brush. He can get a pick off on Huni.
Well, the thing is, Vlad can pull his death mark, so...
Yeah, it's very, very difficult for him to really do that.
You're only going to get the kill if Huni really misplays on his own. Zed is more mobile though, so he can escape the ganks easier unless you use your shadow offensively. Compared to Diana. That's why they've made the swap here in this situation.
Oh, Yellowstar gets pushed back. He throws down the box, but Kasing's not too worried. There's a lot of minions that are causing Yellowstar some pain, but in comes Steelback, and Kasing can't make this play alone. He got a little bit too aggressive here. Shields on, dodging, but he can't dodge that auto attack. Steelback comes up with a kill.
Was that a support staying close to the enemy tower on his own? That was a very weird indeed. That's a very strange play from Kasing.
Huni's bailing out after the death mark. It's going to be Lulex going down. Huni soon to follow. Ryu now could be in some more trouble as Rainover picks him up. It's a double kill. Odoamne teleporting back in. And he dashes forward, but Rainover's already out of town.
Yeah, mid lane being pushed in as well. Fnatic here, they get the kills, they get the towers down. Free kill in the bottom lane on Kasing. No idea what he was doing there, just walking up on his own. Being caught out. Not sure if he was trying to group up the minions and potentially set up a freeze, but that wouldn't make any sense if you want to get the tower. Anyway, Dragon is now an option. There's nobody here from H2K side. You got Odoamne in the top lane. Already used teleport. Zed is coming from mid lane now, very far away. Fnatic is just controlling everything.
They turn their attention, though, to the bottom side. Yes, they are, though. Very difficult for H2K to get anything back. They have to stop the snowball before it becomes any bigger. Febivin rows into the Tri-Brush, gets a rupture onto Lulex, just shows him who's boss. They can go back to the Dragon, but it is a little bit more risky. Ryu's around, so is Lulex. They will take their time about this one before they go back to it.
Yeah, still, the bottom lane is where H2K has to make the play. Lulex can come down now, they can push it in 3 guys and take the tower, especially because Yellows are just backed. And then you take Yarnin here and you move into the mid lane instead, where Cho'Gath does have decent wave clear, but doesn't have enough AP to fully instantly clear the wave, so you can always push him down and at least keep him stuck at his own tower. You can also go top lane and trade for that dragon instead if you want. Vladimir won't be able to clear the waves, because he has to stand on them if you dare with your both support and AD carry. So there are options for H2K to get some gold. The problem is it relies on Fnatic stopping simply making plays, and they don't have to because they're winning their solo laners. In this situation here, they can gank couple shot again.
Well, even the bottom's normalized. Yes, Yarnen's still out farming Steelback, but that's kind of to be expected at this point in the game, and you never know when the pressure from Reignover is going to come. They have really not done a great job of clearing out the tunnels. Yes, some of them have been popped on the side of H2K, but it's really not slowing Reignover down too much.
Yeah, tough man to please. Pyra, you can't really invade into that enemy jungle.
That's true.
Plays tunnels.
You got me on that one.
The wards, though, have been in favor of Fnatic.
Still, Fnatic, they've kept the vision up. Here's what H2K can do here, though, is they can pick off this tower, get excited, a little bit of harass down for Yarnen.
Now you gotta run, though, and not keep trading.
There's a Cho'Gath in the sights, the flash. Oh, the hook comes in. Febivin has the Jinx in his sights, and he takes a bite out of him. Kasing pushing the rest of Fnatic back, but they've already picked up the carry, and the Rupture's gonna land as well. Kasing's in trouble. He's going down. That kill credited to Yellowstar. Fnatic eyeballing the Dragon.
Eyeballing.
But not taking it.
The final of the EULCS.
That is
with the way they're playing now. 13 minutes in, 7 kills already. They got 2 towers. Only the bottom lane is left alive. Now let's see what Ryu can do on Reignover.
And he's trying to finish him off, but Ryu really low here. The last shot's gonna get him. It's Reignover that manages to pick him up. Thank you, Red Buff Huni, though. Can he make his escape? He pulls, but it won't be enough. The barrel comes in, and Ottawamne claims the kill. Lulex knocked up by Reignover. Febivin coming in. Feast not off cooldown, but he does have enough damage in the tank anyways. And Lulex knows he's gone, stops moving, and takes the short route back to base.
Everything is collapsing for H2K here. Simply nothing they can do. Full credit to Reignover on this Rek'Sai. He's showing what you still can do on these early junglers here, as long as you're playing aggressive, as long as you look for the ganks. For him, I mean, you got 5 kills. 14 minutes in. Dragon is still up. Nobody's taking it because there's been no reason for Fnatic to start it when they can keep getting kills in the lanes. H2K does have the bot lane tower down, so Yana and Kasing needs to leave the bottom lane here.
They're going to go and check directly into Reignover and Yellowstar. The question is, do they have enough damage? They might. Reignover gets knocked up for just a moment. He's going pretty low in this one, but he gets his way out. The rocket gets intercepted by Yellowstar. Ottawamne still looking to chase in on Reignover. Pulls in Yellowstar instead. They might have to sacrifice their support, and they will. It goes to Ottawamne. Yarnen getting excited, but he won't be able to polish off Reignover. He's already gone.
Does open up for H2K to start a dragon and at least get something after that 1 kill here. Let's see if Fnatic want to fight. They're still very strong.
Reignover's not left to base.
Febivin is not hit 11 yet, so he doesn't have rank 2 of his ulti. But he can still go in. Oh.
Yep, Hemoplague thrown down on 3 members, and there's the True Shot Barrage. There's a lot of damage coming out. Yarnen nearly going down. Do they have enough to do it? Huni gonna run straight into Ryu. They've chased H2K away. The zap will keep Huni back, but they do manage to secure the dragon for themselves. Huni flashing forward, not able to get anything else. They have scared H2K away.
Not over yet, Pyra.
And they may be looking at this tower, Deficio.
Potential kills, just forcing H2K away. Huni's trying to zone them. Might be collapsed on here.
Yeah, he's got a pool, though, able to sink beneath the ground for a second. Steelback moving forward on Kasing, the Janus shield keeping him alive for now as Reignover picks up Lulex. Kasing throws the Monsoon. There comes the Ezreal. Steelback picks up Kasing anyways. And they can easily take this tower now. Fnatic just outplaying and outpositioning H2K.
Really like how they just stayed between the 2 towers here. They didn't allow H2K to move down and defend the tier 1. Just basically cut them off in between while the rest of Fnatic were running around in the jungle. So when we thought there was a collapse on Huni, well, Fnatic already had multiple members nearby as well. Super nice play staying between them. So this fight here, a lot of ultis and everything has been invested from H2K, and they're tanking the dragon, so this is a nice ulti from Huni to start it so close. And in the end, he just chased it, and now he does a smart play and just stays between the 2 towers here. You're not gonna let H2K either run away or come down and defend the tier 1. No, fight them in between. You don't need to fight at a tower. Super nice setup. Look how the rest of them are coming around.
Yeah, and he buys time with the pool as well, just using himself as live bait. They still can't quite finish him off. There's so much damage here. And Fnatic just come up with the better end of it. They grab everything they want and more. So 6,000 gold in the lead. They've got themselves a dragon to the 0 of H2K, as well as 3 towers to 1. It's about 17.5 minutes into this one, Deficio. Fnatic are looking good. They've got their eyes on the finals in Madrid.
Couldn't hope for more. They had a plan ready against Diana top lane as soon as it was locked in with this Rek'Sai pick for Reignover. 6 kills for himself. And also H2K, clearly, the way they've been playing in this game, he realized once they started dropping in the soul lane, it's like, okay, what can we do? We have to start making risky plays now. Otherwise, we're never going to get to a point where we get any gold if we don't start overextending in the lane. It cost them a few kills. They got the bot lane tower, but they've not been able to push anything after. Now they've swapped Yarn into that mid lane. Fnatic is ready to defend there.
They're ready indeed. Rooney catches sight of Bluelex. Now Ryu there as well, backs himself away. We'll see what H2K can get off of this. It looks like nothing for now. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, Yellowstar's not able to connect on a hook. Yarnan takes a lot of damage, but he gets out safely.
So by going Iceborne Gauntlet here against the Zed, wants that extra armor for himself, more kite options as well to just stay alive in these fights. He knows there's enough damage on the side of Fnatic.
Odoamne can't quite make the plan. Reignover, he takes the Lantern escape.
Look at all the items here from them. We got the Spell, Vamp, Focus, Spirit Visage build from Vladimir, so he's going very tanky. Not a whole lot of damage from him, but enough. And then your job is instead just have super long team fights where you can keep sustaining yourself. And then you have Rod of Ages coming in from Fibin with cooldown reduction, so just focus on trying to spam out Ruptures here while he's kiting backwards. And then of course Iceborne Gauntlet, so very tanky. All the members, honestly, from Fnatic getting some sort of tanky stat early on, which is going to make it even harder for H2K to get any kills in the fights.
He is collapsed on now by members of H2K. I think he knows he's not getting out of this one, even with the pull, but maybe he can get back to his team. No! Yarnan gets the kill, takes the brunt of the True Shot barrage, but he's still just fine. Definitely some much needed gold onto him.
I'm not sure what's
doing an answer.
What Huni was doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Lanes. There's been a few sloppy deaths in this one. And those joins the other ones for Huni. No objective really to take for H2K, so Fnatic doesn't lose a whole lot from it, other than it just slows them down. And when they're building all these tanky items, really just opens up for these long team fights for Fnatic, where as long as Zed doesn't pop a target with his ulti, which he won't be able to late in the game, he's not going to do anything in the fights, and Fnatic can just keep kiting around and wait for that Q to land from a Cho'Gath, and then you go in. Now, we often talk about the early Barons from Fnatic.
The very early Baron.
There's no vision from H2K.
They've also got a Feast from Febivin. He can take his time, walk slowly around the side, intercepts the Jinx rocket, but now they know that this is happening. The problem for H2K is it's far too late to stop it.
Classic Fnatic. One pink ward is all they need. Plays it. If they see H2K move in, you just back away from it because you already control the map. And then you just take your chances. Really, Fnatic can do nearly everything they want here. They can go 1-3-1 spray push. They can go 5-man together. They're strong enough to just force H2K away from a tower. And take it. The dragon is obviously going to belong to Fnatic as well.
Yeah, only 20 seconds or so left on that one. H2K, they've got to stop this move forward, but the problem is now you've got Baron enhanced minions. You've got a lot of damage. Yarnan narrowly avoids that rupture. Fnatic just owns this map wherever they want to go right now. And I was talking about the Rek'Sai tunnels earlier. You can see some of those offensive ones starting to come into play big time for Reignover and the rest of Fnatic. Yellowstar, Reignover starting off this dragon.
Yeah, the only thing H2K can do at this point, if Fibin wasn't pushing the mid lane, was like go top here with 3 or 4 guys and try and take the tower. But it would have to go so fast, and you can't do it if your mid lane hasn't been pushed out, and that's why Fibin stayed in there, pushing up to the tier 2. So that completely stopped H2K from making any plays and trying to trade it for that dragon.
They've been starved of gold, really.
Completely.
They've not been able to get anything because Fnatic is always there to push them back time and time again. Now they have to worry about defending this bottom turret. Baron enhanced minions. So many members of Fnatic here. Yarnan getting caught on a line. That's going to be all she wrote for him. The True Shot Barrage. Nyx Lulex in the back of the head. Ryu still trying to make a play on this turret, but he is going to trade at best an outer for an inner. Fnatic, they're not interested in stopping right now. Huni, meanwhile, back in the mid lane, still making it happen, and they are continuing to shove forward. They want to end this game as soon as they can. Deficio, inhibitor tower being fired down. 28.5 minutes. Febivin grabs a midnight snack, and in comes Lulex to try and push them all back, but it's not going to happen. Febivin picks up that kill on, or excuse me, Kasing and Yarnan have both gone down now. Yarnan just about to come back up, but the inhibitor is already down. Another inhibitor turret being fired down. Fnatic, forget a snowball, this has become an avalanche.
Completely here. Fnatic really showing how good they are once they get that early lead. Showed it in the last game as well. Won the early game with Febivin getting that first spot and just used it to completely take over the map. Didn't give H2K a single chance of coming back. It's the same in this game here from Fnatic's side.
2 inhibitors Fnatic has managed to grab now. It is 23 minutes into the game. That's one of the earliest ones we've had this series. Fnatic starving H2K over and over again. They've got their sights set on this final. Ryu, Hemoplague's on, in comes the death mark as Huni continues to move for him, but Otawamne teleporting in too late. Huni comes up with a kill. And he continues to chase away Otawamne. H2K can't even make the solo outplays or even a 2v1.
Let's see Fnatic. I mean, you don't really have to do a whole lot more. Just force a fight on the top lane.
They've got the game in the palm of their hands at this point.
Completely, obviously. I don't think it takes
it would have
too much of a brain to realize.
It would have to be
Fnatic.
like the perfect positioning for H2K. Fnatic would just have to get themselves caught horrendously, but this game has been so one-sided in their favor after the start of it. They cannot be stopped in this push. They've just got so much damage. They're so far ahead for this point in the game.
Respect to Kasing. He's still smiling, sitting there. He knows the game is basically done. And yet he's there, keeping it fairly cool. For H2K, the goal was to win, obviously. Win the whole split. I'm not talking about the semi-final here, but for them just getting this far in the first split is fantastic.
It is absolutely fantastic indeed. But you know what else is right now, Deficio? The way Fnatic is playing this game, the rocket's going to hit Yellow Star. Won't be enough damage as Rainover picks up a double kill. They're eyeballing the end of this one right now. Rainover runs onto the Flame Chompers, but that doesn't even matter. They've turned their attention to the Nexus turrets to fire this one down. 25 minutes into the game, the Nexus is bare. Fnatic, it took them 5 games to do it, but they are going to the finals. What can you say?
Yeah, not a whole lot looking at the last 2 games. They were basically all about Fnatic and their fantastic ability to snowball an early lead. That's what they showed in these games here. And I really like how they adapted from the Lee Sin top lane, which clearly didn't work for them. Picked Vladimir twice in the last games here, and then showed why they're considered one of the best teams in Europe.
You know, you mentioned Kasing still smiling, but I think we got to talk about somebody else whose smile may have wavered for a little bit during this series. In the back there, it's Huni, but there's a big smile on his face now. Rookie of the split, going to the finals in Madrid next week.
And you know what? That's the scary thing, because this quarterfinal wasn't about Huni at all. It was so much more about the rest of the Fnatic players doing so well. We talk about Febivin in the mid lane, winning his one-on-one against Ryu in that last game. Rainover with the early ganks on the Rex side, snowballing the entire map. Yellowstar and Thresh is making plays left and right. Like, these are the players you're looking at if you look at this quarterfinal, or semi-final, sorry, not quarterfinal. Huni did manage to show what he could do. He had a lot of bans, of course, against him, like Hecarim, Rumble, everything.
He found his footing, though, in Game 4.
But that, again, it's a scary thing that Fnatic, without him, can still be so aggressive on the map and make so many plays, and
Yeah.
it shows how good the entire lineup is from them.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about it time and time again after we realized how strong this team had been put together as effectively from the ground up over the course of the offseason. But where they're at now, I don't think anybody could have expected it up until maybe halfway through the split.
Yeah,
they just look so
sure.
dominant. Yes, they've had some stumbling blocks, but every one of the members on this team can really step up and play absolutely massive. And you could see over the course of that best of 5 that it really just went all around the board. From Huni finding his feet after the 3 Lee Sin games, to Reignover's 9-0-2 performance on Rek'Sai right now. Absolutely huge for them. And it also shows the diversity of some of their picks as well. I don't think you can ban out anyone on this team.
So we see the same style from them. I still think H2K's strategy of banning out Huni was fine because he was a lot less impactful compared to what we have seen before. And so in that case, it was okay. But it's just also Fnatic, if you look at like player for player, at least in this game here, are just so much better playing that early aggressive style. Tough to say after 5 games. Aggressive style.
Everything is pretty much.
And we have this setup here where Lulex against Reignover is very different styles of junglers as well in that sense. And Reignover, obviously with the Rek'Sai pick, helping him out, just got the better of Lulex in 2 games in a row now, which was a very important thing in the early game. Same style from Fnatic, all game, all series long. And also for H2K, we just have to talk about how you are a team who qualifies through the expansion tournament. So because we extended to 10 teams, you came in. You were the best team of all the
lost your mid laner.
Lost your mid laner, who's now on Fnatic and one of the best, if not the best mid laner in Europe at the moment.
Yeah.
And then you still managed to make it all the way here, go 5 games in the semifinal. You're still going to Madrid, you play for 3rd place, you can still earn championship points, which is going to be important next split, obviously, for H2K, because their goal now has to be Worlds.
It has to. I mean, they've proved over the course of this split, coming from the Challenger Series through the expansion tournament into the LCS and making some roster changes, that they can compete at the highest level here in Europe. So, I mean, it's got to be absolutely massive for them to have made it to this stage. They'll be fighting for that 3rd place spot. Still a lot of championship points on the line in that situation. But yeah, I mean, you can't take anything away from them. They've got to be proud for that.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think we can just say for both Fnatic and H2K, they surprised everyone with the expectations before the split. And now Fnatic is in the final, well deserved to them. H2K has to face either Unicorns of Love or SK for 3rd place.
And on that note, now we're going to go and head back to the analyst desk where Shox and Quickshot are standing by to talk to our first LCS Spring finalists of 2015. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Pyrotechnics. We are joined by Yellowstar, Febevin, and Huni of the victorious Fnatic, who we will see in the finals over in Madrid. Well, the fans have been standing by the minute you stepped on that stage, and they haven't let off. Bora, first maybe asking you, did you expect that the series would go as it eventually played out with 5 games and 3 of them very close for comfort?
Going into this match, we knew that it was going to be difficult. We had a lot of strategies planned, but the meta shifted into a weird way, I would say. So we were not sure of what to play and all of these things. So we were kind of prepared, but it seemed that they were like playing really solid and they were like ready to face that. So yeah, I think they played really well in that series, and being able to pull the games with our standard plays made it way easier than the strategy with 2 smites. And yeah, we were really prepared against H2K to play a long best of 5.
It definitely showed. First of all, congratulations, because the double smite, it was difficult. I have to ask Huni the question, why was your Lee Sin good or bad?
I think Lee Sin with smite, just I want enemy jungler cannot, we want just a cerebral control, so maybe it's but
It worked out. You wanted to control Lulex. Were you very scared of Lulex in the jungle, or what was the strategy, Huni?
It was just take my red, try to take our red, and then go counter. It was counter gank, counter jungler, but it's not happen. So it's not. It was not that good. So our just plan was really good.
Yeah.
So we used to listen, and then after third game, his releasing is so bad in this case, so we changed our draft. So
Yeah, you did, and you picked Vladimir, and you did so good on that. I want to turn to Febiven this one as well. Of course, that mid matchup is so incredibly hyped, and then in the first game, your Cho'Gath falls a little bit flat. How did that make you think about the rest of the series? Because you still went back to it in game 5.
In the first game, we didn't really know what to do because they lane swapped, and I never played in this situation, so I really didn't know what to do. So I was really useless this game, but I just told my team that I want to play mid lane, and then I can perform, and yeah.
Yeah, because that is your role in the end. I want to touch on the mid lane matchup because for us, Ryu has stepped up, but it was in the quarterfinals that he has showed a higher level of play than he had in the rest of the split, even though that was already on quite a high level. Did you feel a difference in facing him now than you did in the rest of the split?
I feel like he's been playing really good like all the time. His laning phase is really good because I actually struggled and I lost my lane in 2 games, I think, in creeps. So I think he's a very good player and I look forward to play him.
Well, it worked out very well, and you know, definitely bouncing back from those Cho'Gath plays. I want to turn to Yellowstar one more time. You were the only European player to qualify for every single LCS final. First of all, congratulations for that. Secondly, how is it that you were able to build a top 2 team from complete scratch? What is it that made you able to find the players that you did and put together such a powerful squad?
Well, there is no secret to that. But first of all, I mean, I must be lucky because I always end up like being with such talented guys that are willing to play and that are I don't know. I mean, I could just like choose teammates that are supposed to be good, and then maybe I cannot match them personally, but I'm having fun every day with them. I mean, everyone is so motivated. They want to play, they want to win. We have the same goals, and I mean, we match up perfectly. So I think it's really good, and I'm really lucky, and I can just say thanks to them for joining the adventure in Fnatic, and the future is going to be bright with them. I'm pretty sure.
The future is definitely bright, and maybe the common denominator is that you are such a stand-up guy, so it all falls in place around you. In today's match, there was one player, though, that really stood out when Fnatic backs were against the wall, making the key picks and going huge in Game 4 to keep the series alive. Today's MVP for us, Fnatic's Febiven. Congratulations. For us, it was the entirety of the best of 5. Our eyes were on the mid lane, and we feel that you stepped up.
I have a quick leading question. Playing against H2K, the team that you left after you helped them qualify to the LCS, and then having such a stand-up performance against Ryu, 1v1ing him in the mid lane with that Zed. Talk me through how you felt playing against your old team and one of the legends of mid lane League of Legends.
For me, it doesn't really matter who I play against, so I didn't really have a nerves before this game. Even though last time we were gonna play H2K, I was really nervous, but this game I just felt I was confident. I was really playing good, and I just snowballed.
Yeah, it showed fantastic, and congratulations on that MVP. And to nobody's surprise, today was filled with top-tier play, and you all watching took note. Our big play is from @Unumikid, who tweeted, "Holy moly, that super mega death rocket from Fnatic Steelback, killing Diana. Thanks to Febiven Calculato." This is your LCS big play of the day.
To the top side. We'll see what can happen as the rocket isn't needed. Febiven comes with a pick on Kasing, but he still gets a kill.
Flashes, and then Steelback, I believe he's like, he would almost hit Kasing. Oh, he would actually have hit him. And then he gets
that
another one.
Huni, you got a big smile. Do you like seeing those plays?
Oh, I didn't see in game when I in game, but oh, really so funny this one.
Yeah, fantastic shot. Fantastic shot by Steelback. Now with one spot at the finals filled, let's pull up the bracket of our playoffs. Fnatic takes the first spot in the finals in Madrid, and then we'll see who they'll be playing. It'll be the Unicorns of Love or SK Gaming playing tomorrow to see who will be the other finalist and who will be playing in that 3rd or 4th play match. And by making it to the finals, Fnatic has earned at least 70 championship points towards qualifying for this year's World Championship, while H2K has secured at least 30.
Yeah, so it's important to note that Fnatic can earn as many as 90 points if they win the split. If they lose, it'll be 70. H2K, if they win 3rd place, can take as many as 50 points. And again, remember the 3 ways to qualify for the World Championships. You either win the summer split, you get the top amount of championship points, or you win the regional qualifier. Those are the 3 ways. Yellow Star, how do you plan to qualify for Worlds? Winning summer split or getting the most championship points, seeing as though you're poised in the final in the spring split?
I think I'd go for another title. I mean, like, we're working really hard every day, and yeah, obviously our goal is to grab as many wins as we can. And I'm playing with winners, so they really want to go for this, and I believe that we have to do it this way.
All right, keeping your eye on another title hit for you. We'll fill in the rest of the bracket tomorrow when the #1 seed SK Gaming faces off against the LCS newcomers, the Unicorns of Love, in a best-of-5. I'd like to get your predictions, because this will, in the end, be the team that you'll be playing for that title. Maybe Huni, who do you think will win SK Gaming Unicorns of Love, and why?
Sorry?
Tomorrow, do you think SK Gaming will win, or the Unicorns of Love will win? And who do you want to play?
I think SK Gaming gonna win. So yeah, I think so. SK gonna win. Yeah.
All right.
And then I prefer to against SK Gaming too.
Okay. Well, quite convincing there, Febevin.
Yeah, I think SK is gonna win too, even though Unicorns of Love is a really cheesy team. But I think SK, if they prepared enough, then it should be easy games for them.
Yellow Star.
Well, watching the games of Unicorn of Love lately, like they were able to pull so many picks that were fitting their playstyle, like really aggressive junglers like Shaco, Udyr, and something like that. I think it's going to be exciting because they really like to fight. They play really aggressive, but it's going to be a close series, I think. But I'm going to give it to SK as well.
SK in the end as well. 3 votes. Maybe Trevor, you want to pitch in, or you don't want to?
I find it hard to argue against it, but I do think there is a real chance Unicorns could surprise if they pull out the Gouda, as Leviathan was saying. It worked against Gambit. It could work against SK as well.
Yeah, I call it on PTL for the Unicorns of Love, but I think it's going to be really, really close. And I mean, Fnatic Unicorns of Love would be crazy, but Fnatic SK Gaming, all fantastic finals if they happen. Well, that best-of-5 is happening tomorrow, same time, same place, 5 p.m. Central European time. That is 8 a.m. Pacific. And just about wraps it up for us here in Berlin. Stay tuned, because there's more League Championship Series playoffs coming your way as a North American 2nd seed Cloud9 prepares to face off against Team Liquid for a spot in the spring finals, as we see that everything is getting underway and the fans are getting warmed up. It started raining here. They at least still have a little bit of sun. But before we hand it over to our friends over there in Los Angeles, let's take a look back at today's highlights.
The crowd's already like at 800%. How can we get any more hype in this division?
What an insane game as well. Fnatic H2K.
The damage coming in on Steelback. Ryu gets in, gets out. Febevin getting knocked back into the team, getting pulled to safety, but in mid-transit, Ryu's gonna snipe enough to be able to make it happen. Rainover now has joined the party. The Baron's low. He gets Cody manages to pick it up. Of damage here and there. They try to get the chase off on this H2K squad that's a little bit divided, with Ryu out of the picture. Oruamne dashing in. Go back.
Kalista. Okay, nice. Let's get him. Good guys. Good game.
31.5 minutes into the game. They take down Fnatic in the most unconventional game 1 that I've ever seen.
Don't get like too relaxed over it, because like the hard part is just coming right now.
Okay guys, really high communication all the time, okay? I don't want anyone to be thinking about the last game. This is a new game.
Lulik's a little bit low here, but here comes Huni with the kickback, and that's gonna be first blood. The fight's not over yet. Rainover throws down the absolute zero. Huni comes in, but he eats a rocket in mid-transit. Yarden moving around the side, trying to pick off Febevin, but Steelback moving forward.
Rainover is
gonna throw down the absolute zero. Ryu, a ton of damage firing him down, but they don't have enough to finish it off. Meanwhile, rocket intercepted as Yarden flashes away after the fact. Monsoon to keep Fnatic healthy. And Fnatic, at about 35 minutes into the game, gonna even the score at 1-1.
But remember, you guys gotta be each other's cheerleaders, like through the good and the bad. Like, if things are being really good, I want everyone to listen to Ryu about like excitement management.
I think Ryu gets pretty happy as well.
tower extremely low. They ought to be able to dive this one. In comes Otawamne, gets juked out. The charm not going to land. Yellowstar going down. Monsoon to keep Rio alive. Febivin dashing in, should be able to pick him off, and he does. Rainover flashes as soon as his absolute zero channel completes. Lulex picking up Huni. Otawamne in the front. Forget the box. Rainover's the one going down. Inhibitors should be going down, but H2K, they're more interested in the kills. Charm lands on Rainover. Yarden is going to be able to pick up Yellowstar.
I'm coming.
We can actually end.
I'm queuing him down there.
We have so much big wave. Just to protect the arena.
Kill him. Yeah.
It's all over. That's going to be H2K coming up 2-1 on the series.
Decision making, we're doing really, really good shot calls.
Ryu, oh, he can jump
Goes
on.
in. He's going to try to dash his way out of stage. Oh, the flash too. And he
Nice
gets popped for
blood.
first blood. Huni flashing in. Yellowstar's one that is going to pick up that kill, however.
Nice. Here, ward here. Really nice.
Steelback trying to move away the Acathian surprise, a ton of damage there, and a double kill comes in for Otawamne. The fight's going haywire. Not quite done just yet. Lulex trying to bait a little bit more out as Yellowstar is fighting with Ryu here. He's gonna be able to pick him off though. And 32 minutes into this game, Fnatic are really wanting this one. Looks like we're going to game number 5.
Muted.
Go flash behind him, kill him. Nice! Really nice, man.
Stop! I came alone.
Nice.
I got first blood.
Really nice.
There's a Cho'Gath in the sights, the flash. Oh, the hook comes in. Febivin has the Jinx in his sights, and he takes a bite out of him. Steelback moving forward on Kasing, the Janus shield keeping him alive for now as Rainover picks up Lulex. Kasing throws the Monsoon. There comes the Ezreal. Steelback picks up Kasing anyways. Fnatic, it took them 5 games to do it, but they are going to the finals.